So today we are starting our tear down derby project, if you will, with our PT Cruiser. HUD's outside helping me. Thanks, HUD. We are going to start simple. We're just going to tear out all the door plastic from all four of the doors. We'll start tearing out probably the back seats. We might get to that today. But the interior plastic. The dash I'm going to leave as much as I can because they just say it's smart. I'm going to take out, that's a CD player Deb put in. I'm going to take out, it's just some screws here inside, pulls this plastic out, kind of all that extra face plastic around the heaters and that. I'm going to take all that out. I might this time leave those plugged in though. Last year with my cars, both the Fusion and Cavalier, we unplugged all those wires and nothing happened, but I've heard different people say sometimes that can lead to a issue with the computer, kind of a sensor tripping for theft, and we don't want any of that. Again, that's our blown up sugar container there. But the interior there, the plastic across the gear shifter. Again, I pull out the passenger seat, the carpet. So this is what she looks like before. Driver's seat, of course, will stay, but the rear seats, the passenger seat, all the flooring, carpet inside, all the plastic and the kind of lining there across the top, door plastic, all that stuff we are going to start now tearing out. So here's kind of what it looks like before, and we'll have a after here. Again, this hatch is a good hatch. I'm not going to mess with this one at all. I have a second hatch that was damaged. The window was shattered and some damage around it, but we're going to put that on for the Derby. But for now, we're just going to leave that be. So here we go. We're going to start tearing into her, removing the interior plastic, and get this project underway. We're excited. So no time-lapse video for me, but just kind of show we've got the door panels out. You can see pretty simple process. Just take a screwdriver in there and pop them out. Just kind of be careful as you're doing it. The handles then, these guys, this I removed from the inside of the door panel. Just popped out from those screw holes there. But this guy is just sitting in there. You just pop that carefully down, that yellow piece pops right out. The whole door panel piece comes out. So you can see how we've got inside tore into the side of this dash just a little bit, started into the cover there for the airbag. Again, you got to be careful with those. I would never have your airbag still running to power, meaning the battery. Took out the door handles, but yeah, coming. Kind of showing progress as we go. You can see the pieces again you can save. Like these things right here. These things, if you go to a store, and these are like brand new, you can see all four of them. They're like 35, 40 bucks cheapest. So I usually post these, see if anyone's interested. They're all kind of the spare pieces, the door panels and that I don't need just in the trunk or back until later on whenever we can recycle it at our pickup day for trash. So we're coming, moving along. So here we are, a little update after not too much work. Again, the door panels are off, pretty simple. They just pop a little plastic piece right off of that. Doors pop out easy. Did some work on the dash. You can see I'm just pop out or open up here, and then there's just different screws concealed there. You can still see the bigger ones right there. I haven't taken out yet. They're mainly holding it down. Popped off the faceplate here. That was my dad. He had a CD player that he put in there. That's why I wasn't worried about messing with that and killing any sensors or setting off any theft or anything like that. He had already done that. I leave though the power there for the plugs for the light, or excuse me, the windows one, so I can put them up and down. Makes it a lot easier whenever you're taking them out. But we do that last right before the Derby, so no rain or things are getting in here until then. And those all your different components and that, like your heat and all that, I unplugged it on my Fusion and the other car had no problem. For now I'll leave it plugged in. Again, as I go I'll kind of stop, put power back to the motor from the battery and make sure it starts up and runs normal, as sometimes, you know, messing with the dash, you can mess with fire. So I kind of, as I go, make sure I'm not unplugging something that's absolutely required. So you can kind of see back seats here popped right out. It was actually nice. You can see I haven't got to the back there. I'll leave the roof inside out until toward the end. But yeah, the seats popped right up. Made it a lot easier. They're just sitting there now, so that'll be my other cars. I had to use the hex bolt and get them loosened up, and then get them out there was a little bit harder. So coming along. We'll probably by rest of today here, I'd like to kind of get the dash where I'd like it. Just get the extra plastic there off. Those are just some screws and stuff that are holding those down. Kind of get it where I'd like it for at least now. Door panels are fine for now. Speakers I'll just take out. And then probably won't mess with anything back here until closer to garbage day, because I've got everything just kind of thrown back here, the plastic along the side and that. So coming along, but not too much time until all the more work we got done already. So we're coming along good. So now we are making headway. In essence, the hardest thing, in my opinion, getting the dash off how you want it, which again, you don't necessarily need to do this, but to run the roll cage across like I do right over kind of the steering wheel column there from side to side, I need to. So we got her off, it's ready to go, referring to we fired up the motor. It still fires up. I like to, as I unplug a couple things, just make sure everything's still firing. And right here, this is the heat control. I'm not going to unplug that unless I have to. I don't think it's going to trip anything, but I just don't want to unless I need to, and I don't really need to. I can just kind of tape it down there and it's good. And the dash, once you unbolt everything, and they are like a puzzle trying to find all the different screws they're holding in, I just cut the side so that this can kind of bend around the steering wheel there. You can see it's cut, and then just pop the whole thing out, and there you go. There's your dash. So coming along, this right here is something I think has to be here. Your gauge plugged in, so I unplugged it here to pop this off and the whole dash off, and then I plugged it back in, fired it up, and it works fine. So the last thing we're gonna do here before we clean up, we're gonna take off the passenger side airbag. The driver's side we'll worry about later on, but passenger side airbag rather, and killed the battery. I like to wait at least 5 or 6 minutes, make sure there's no kind of charge in there at all, just in case for some reason the battery would have enough charge to have this thing pop whenever we're taking it apart, and we don't want that. So finishing up, inside is a bit of a mess, but the hard part, in my opinion, the dash is pretty much ready to go. Just kind of clean some stuff up, and these plastic air vents and stuff, they just unscrew and pop off. So looking good.